This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Autumn Ridge 26BH. Okay, so I'll walk towards the rear here. And you have scissor type stabilizers. Use a 3/4 inch crank or a 3/4 inch socket on a drill to operate them. You don't lift the trailer with the jacks, you just take the wiggle out of it. This is your water heater here. The thing I need to show you is that right now, this is your drain plug slash anode rod. It goes right in here. Okay, so right now the water heater is empty because the trailer is winterized. So the bypass valves are bypassed at the rear of the water heater, and there's antifreeze in the system. The switch to light the water heater on gas is inside. Always make sure you fill the water heater before you power awning with an LED strip. That's just power right there to hook up to. Alright, we've got your hitch right here. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch. We'll show you how that operates when you pick up your trailer. This port right here is in case you wanted to add a solar battery charger. It comes on a little stand and you can charge the battery if you needed to, okay? You have a power tongue jack. You can manually crank this jack by pulling the plug, and I'm sure there's a crank in here somewhere. Let me look around. Should have looked when I was back over here. Yeah, right here. So this crank would be for your tongue jack, and the other one is for the stabilizer jacks. So if this ever fails, you can pull that plug right there, put the crank on it, and crank it manually. You got two LP tanks with automatic changeover regulator, deep cycle marine battery. Okay. This is your fresh water fill here. It's got a fresh water tank. The most common way to get water to this trailer is to use the city water hookup. But you can fill your fresh water tank using this port right here, and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. That's in case the campground that you're going to that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite. So you can pre-fill this tank and still use all the plumbing just like you had city water. This is your cord here. It's 30 amps and 30 feet long. This is a water station here. So there's a second way to get water to your fresh water tank, and I'll show you that. Right now you can see the diagram. When the lever's this way, it's set up for city water right there. So you'd hook your hose on there, turn it on, and your whole trailer's pressurized, ready to go. Now, if you wanted to switch it and fill the fresh water tank, you would just change it to that position. So you can do it in two different areas there, two different places. Also, there's a quick connect fitting for this with a sprayer on it, so you can hose things down. This is a black tank flush here. Okay, so black tank flush. We'll start off with these are your valves. Your black tank valve and your gray tank valve. Of course, the gray tank is sink and shower water. The black tank is toilet water and waste. So you dump the black one first because it's the dirtiest of the water. Then you dump the gray. You leave the black tank valve open, and you would put your hose at the dump station right on here and turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of your tank and clean off the sensors. Your black tank, clean off the sensors, that sort of thing. So that's generally what you want to do. These are just your low point drains that have to do with winterizing the trailer. Okay. This housing up here tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. That takes a Furrion camera, the one that fits in that housing. We sell them here, but no matter where you get it, just make sure you get the one that fits in the housing, and it's just a plug-and-play type deal. When you turn your running lights on, it'll activate the camera, so you can back up with it, or you can leave it on going down the road if you wanted to. Alright, well, we're looking up at the roof. Remember, you have to inspect the roof when you own a trailer, so you have to inspect it every 90 days or so. Go up there or have somebody go up there, check all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation anywhere. Check the roofing material to make sure there's no damage to it by low branches or road debris flipping up there. You know, look at the vent covers, everything, just make sure it's in good shape. Every 90 days, so you figure in the spring, the middle of summer, and in the fall would be the time to do that. Okay, let's go inside. Alright, so This is your control panel here. So to light your water heater is right there. To turn on your water pump if you need it, to pump water out of the tank, it's right there. You also use the water pump during winterizing. Your battery's charged, fresh water is empty, black water is empty, gray water is empty. So as they fill, it graduates up in 1/3 increments, right? And when it gets past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping it. To extend and retract your awning is right here. You can see it. I'll go a little ways for you. Just remember, don't leave it out unattended. So if you're not going to be at the campsite, roll it in so the wind doesn't get a hold of it and damage it. Okay? These are just lights. This device here is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. It should always be green like it is. It detects carbon monoxide and LP gas, and also if the battery's low, it'll be super slow until you got a low battery. So I'm going to put it through the self-test. You'll hear it. First test will be LP, the second test will be carbon monoxide, and then it'll give you the low battery alert. Here we go. Comes another test. And low battery. Okay, and then back to green, like it should be. Okay, so if it ever goes off, obviously you're going to take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front and figure out what's going on. Okay, so your microwave works like any other microwave. This is your vent, your range hood vent, so it's light and a fan to vent out the side. To light your oven, hopefully it's got the gas on right now, or to light your range, I mean, hopefully it's got the gas. You use the sparker here. You turn it clockwise, so let's see what he's got going here. I hope he shut it off, I guess. Alright, let me go turn the gas on. Okay, so we'll flip these forward if we can. Now we'll just pull the whole cover off. These can be kind of tough. Let me just pull the cover off. Okay, there we go. So like I said, you got two 30-pound LP tanks and a regulator here. Okay, so let me turn it on. You see he's got them off. Okay. Three. Okay, so it'll take a second for the gas to get up here, so let me just give it a minute. Turn on both of them to move it quicker. There we go. So we just turn it clockwise to spark it. Now the oven now has a pilot light at the bottom all the way to the back, right? You can see I can spark it. You can see it sparking. So what you do is you just go to the far right knob, which is the oven knob. You go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot light. You depress it and you hold it. Then with the other hand, you're going to spark this clockwise until the flame lights down here. And you'll see the pilot light. After the pilot light lights, you're still holding this in. You hold it for another 10 seconds to heat it up. Go to operating temperature. But when you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you got to light it each time you use the oven. Okay. So this device here is the power converter. What it does is it converts 110 AC over to 12 volt DC. So you can see you got circuit breakers here just like you would have at home, and they're all labeled. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side, and you see you got 12 volt fuses here. Alright, and they're labeled. So if either of these fuses were to blow, they'll actually light up. You can see it through this tinted plastic here. Also, when you're plugged in, this will tend your battery up front. It'll see how much energy it needs or how much it has, and it will determine what it needs. If it's charged, it'll just trickle a couple amps to it. If it's low, it can send 10 amps or whatever it needs to stay charged. So it's also a battery charger / tender. Okay, so this GFCI here. All the plugs in the trailer are wired through this GFCI, even the one on the outside. So if anything pops, you're going to reset it here. Alrighty, of course you got two bunks. The thing to know about the bathroom is always run the fan with a shower, always, to pull the humidity out. And the RV toilet, in case you haven't owned one before, this is a flush pedal right here. That is the black tank directly below. There's a little bit of antifreeze coming out right now because the water is not hooked up to it, it's winterized. But if you had water hooked up, it would be swirling around right now. So the black tank's directly below and it's empty. You have to put water in it before you use it. So when you get to the campground, you would hook up the water and the power and then come inside and you just step on the pedal and hold it for a minute or two and put about a gallon of water in the tank. Just let it swirl right in there. And it doesn't have to be exact, but you just have to have water in it to start using it. Okay? Alright, so let me look around, see what else we have here, if anything. TV set is also a radio, as you can see. It's got Bluetooth, it's got FM radio, 2 speaker zones, one inside, one outside, and it's also a TV, of course. Your thermostat is pretty simple. You're just going to go through the mode button to choose what you want. Okay, very simple. You can drop the table down if you need to onto these cleats and use the back cushions to fill in the space, and you got a bed there. This jackknife's flat by grabbing it right here and pulling it out, so that's another bed. And then, of course, in the bedroom here, you have storage underneath, as you normally do. You can mount a TV over here. There's an antenna out, and there's a packer plate here, even though the sticker's not there. So you get one that swings this way towards the bed, I guess I would say, like this. Also, the emergency windows to escape, you would just push this all the way through and then grab a hold of the tab and pull the screen out, and you can exit that way in an emergency. Okay, I think we have it here now. Let me look around. But I think we've covered it. Okay, yep. Okay, so thank you for buying your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Remember what I told you about inspecting the roof every 90 days? That's very important. That's not just this trailer, it's every trailer ever made you got to inspect, so that's part of owning one. Also, it is winterized right now. There's antifreeze in the system and the water heater's bypassed. Okay? Thank you.